Hey there my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobra's Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra, and I used to make minimalism videos. I've been doing a lot of time to reflect on things that I've wanted to kind of talk about, and I feel like I finally have the space. Before we get started though, I really do want to say thank you to everybody. Like, I'm just completely blown away by how much support I got from everybody saying, like, you know, they're gonna be sticking by my side, like you guys are gonna be sticking by my side. I feel like so blessed and so honored. I feel like I'm gonna work really hard to create good content to kind of help out anybody, like what life could be like after minimalism, what are some healthy steps, kind of like having the space to add into your life. You don't have to simplify, it's reverse simplifying. So that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to be talking about 5 things that suited me in minimalism and 6 things that I've decided to kind of like let go and where I'm at in my journey. And I hope that this can help anybody else out. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. Let's get it, let's go. Woo. So we're going to be talking about the things that suited me first. So point number 1 is the beige colorway. I have kind of talked about this in other videos, and actually some subscribers have also reached out to me kind of asking about like what's my take on the beige colorway or the no colorway, the monochrome colorway. And I think this one is actually a little bit controversial because when I did research on it to kind of make that video, I realized that actually there is a little bit of controversy behind it, which is like colonization and this idea of whitewashing, that, you know, the beige colorway is actually like tied to, I guess, colonialism and like white privilege and stuff like that. So it was kind of interesting to have learned that. Despite all of that though, however, if I just kind of stripped away all of the historical context behind just the beige colorway in minimalism or the lack of color, I have to say I actually really did enjoy it. I'm not sure if it's just because like I don't know what the reason is. I could think of some possibilities as to why I'm really enjoying the beige colorway, and I mean, maybe in the future I might change. I might become extremely colorful in the future, I don't know. But when I think about it currently, I kind of enjoy just how practical and easy it is. I like that it's not completely white, so it doesn't dirty as easily. And by the flip side, I find that like shades of beige pair really well together. So it's very easy to dress yourself and dress your environment. I don't feel a sense of like blandness in the beige colorway. I think it's a very pretty soft color, and that's just currently where I'm at. So I'm really happy that I still happen to do like the beige colorway, and I think I will be sticking to it for the foreseeable future. The next thing that I really enjoyed that came out of minimalism was fewer logos. That one was kind of a big one for me. I have talked about this in other videos where I talked about how I like disentangled my self-worth from this idea of like luxury logos, feeling like if I own certain brands that make me a much more worthwhile individual. And this is not related to minimalism per se. These are just like my own personal struggles. These are the things that I decluttered and worked through and reflected on in my minimalism journey. And I'm really happy that something that came about in my minimalism was letting go, or at least at the very least having fewer logos. I think recently I've just been kind of like at a place where I feel like I don't have to be extreme with every single rule. These are just like little tips and tricks that I picked up that just I'm like, oh, that's nice. If I can have something that has a tinier logo, like I'd prefer that. Something that has less of a logo would be really nice. I'm not that crazy about like a giant logo. I have developed more of a refined taste to preferring something a little bit more muted, something a little bit more subtle. So I definitely have to credit minimalism with that. Before that, a big massive logo to me seemed like a really good idea because I felt like on a subconscious level I was letting everybody else know, like, look how awesome I am with this brand. And of course, this is no knock on anybody who enjoys big brands or big logos. This is just my own personal take and something that has come about through my minimalism. Number 3, being able to say no at work. That's something that I definitely credit minimalism with. I'm definitely a pushover. If somebody tells me do this, do that, especially when they come from like a place of authority, like say like my employer or something, I would do it. It's because of minimalism that it kind of gave me the space and the strength to think actually my quality of life should come first, is a priority. So because of that, I have the audacity to say no at work. And because I practice a lot of minimalism, financially, I have a lot of cushion, and it's the cushion that gives me the strength to be able to tell my employers, hey, listen, you know what? This is the line. Definitely because of minimalism. I don't think if I had minimalism in my life, I think I'd still be buying a lot of stuff. Probably wouldn't have as much money, and I don't think I would have enough strength to say like no at work. And saying no at work has been really nice. There's a lot of stuff that I just don't want to do, and can't pay me enough to do it. Number 4, not comparing myself to others. It has been really freeing to not have to compare myself to others, although I do have to disclaimer that I clearly was comparing myself to other minimalists. So I guess honestly I think comparison is human nature. I think it's natural. I think that I don't want to demonize this. I think it's normal. I think a lot of us do it, but definitely minimalism helped me at least not compare myself to what the standard of success is, or like at least what Western society says should be, you know, big house, lots of money, drive fancy cars, branded stuff, lots of like fancy vacations, knowing that I don't have to compare myself to that. Like if I was not born of a certain standard or I don't have access to certain opportunities, like that doesn't make me any lesser of a person. Like I still have value. I still deserve to live like a happy life regardless of my socioeconomic status. So that has been really freeing for me, because I think I really did buy into the American dream, where I thought that like, if you work hard, you know, you're definitely gonna have certain levels of success. But now I just feel like, yes, I should strive, but I'm not gonna kill myself if I don't reach that, or I'm not gonna hate myself because I didn't reach what society said that I should be. Number 5, in that similar vein, leaving the rat race. I definitely have to credit minimalism with giving me that space, like put some distance between me and the rat race. I think I still do participate in the rat race. Like I still post a lot of social media content, like, you know, this and that, blah, blah, which I do feel is the new rat race. But I feel like I also have minimalism as a shield to give me that space to take a rest when I feel like I can't handle it, or I need a break. Minimalism gave me that space to say like, it's actually okay. It gave me the permission and the option to opt out in times where I feel tired. I don't have to constantly be like a rat on a wheel. Minimalism was like, actually, you don't have to constantly be running. And that was really freeing for me, because I didn't know that was an option. I was so deep in the consumeristic lifestyle. I was so deep in the matrix that I didn't even realize that there was a world outside of that. So I credit minimalism with that. Okay, now we're gonna be talking about the 6 things that I feel I've kind of decluttered out of my minimalism that just have not suited me, and maybe these might resonate with you. Comment down below if any of these are something that you also struggled with, or at least not struggled with, but kind of came to the realization, the mature, informed decision that actually this is not for me, and I'm gonna let it go. First one was the decluttering obsession. It's funny, one of my best videos and my first videos when I first started my minimalism journey, which was like 3 years into my own minimalism journey, like when I documented this on YouTube, was how to quit the decluttering obsession. And at that time, the decluttering then was like unreal. Like it was extremely unhealthy. Since then, I have made a lot of videos talking about why I don't declutter a lot. Recently though, I feel like since I haven't decluttered a lot, I started to kind of feel guilty. Like I'm a minimalist who doesn't declutter. I should go back to decluttering for the sake of like my channel. And in it, I just went back to being miserable again. I really don't like to declutter, and I have done a lot of reflections on it, and I will be kind of making a video as to why decluttering makes me really uncomfortable. If you don't, you know, long story short, the reason I don't like to declutter a lot is actually because I grew up in poverty. So I feel like I'm coming from a different place. I'm not coming from the privileged middle class. Decluttering does not give me or bring me a sense of joy. It's extremely stressing, and so I don't indulge in it. And I feel like I have the right to put my foot down and say that for my own minimalism, decluttering doesn't suit me. I don't declutter the way that people do, like these massive declutters. I'd say probably what I do is I curate. When I finish a product, I recycle it. If I can give something a second life, I give it a second life. Like that's how I like to use my minimalism. In all honesty, I rarely declutter anything. Even a lot of the videos where I have made, you know, like I did a massive declutter, I literally just put it in a box, and then like I would like bring it back out again, because honestly, that's just not me. And so in the space of quitting minimalism, or like not practicing minimalism as deeply, I'm okay with saying that I'm not interested in this decluttering obsession. It's just, it doesn't suit me. Okay, number 2, extreme minimalism. Similar to vein number 1, because I grew up on welfare and I grew up in a lower socioeconomic status, I've made my peace with this idea that in order to be a good minimalist, I don't have to partake, or I don't have to participate in extreme minimalism. I think I'm allowed to opt out of that, and I don't think that it makes me any lesser of a practicer of minimalism, but like a worse or better minimalist. I think it's okay. I don't think that, at least for myself, I no longer put that as a standard. I had, because I felt like that's how everyone seemed to kind of like cheer on minimalism. Like the closer you got to that, the more like congratulatory things got. So I kind of took it as like, okay, I'm going in the right direction. I don't like it. And then I just kind of thought, I think that morally speaking, I don't feel, and I don't know if this can resonate with any of my other subscribers, so that's why I'm going to say this. I don't think it's morally correct to push people to be, or put this pressure on minimalism, that extreme minimalism is the golden standard, because I think that takes and robs people of their power. I think we should have some sort of abundance, maybe not necessarily materialistic, but also like just like a mental, like an abstract thing. And I think pushing to extreme minimalism can become quite unhealthy when I don't think that it's for everyone. I think it's lovely if you go there and you enjoy it, all the power to you, but I don't think, at least that's just my personal opinion for myself, I'm okay with not practicing extreme minimalism. I'm fine with having some minimalism in my life, but I don't want to be extreme about it. Number 3, saying no to vanity things. I think that this might be more of a female issue than perhaps a male issue, but I think that Western society puts a lot of pressure on women to look a certain kind of way and to buy certain products, whether it be makeup, vanity, jewelry, clothing. That we have to, like, our value is in our appearance. So I think that's beautiful that minimalism gives us that space to say no to those things and still be a worthy individual. So in that sense, I definitely credit minimalism with that. On the flip side though, I think that if you want to be a practitioner of minimalism and you really truly do happen to like those things, to go against minimalism and say, actually, hey guys, like I think I'm gonna do my makeup, and I think I'm gonna own a lot of jewelry, like I think I'm gonna be, you know, I don't know, girly and pampery. I think it's okay. At least for myself, that's a conclusion that I came to, and that's one that I think a lot of subscribers have said that they're happy that I'm firm or passionate behind that. I guess in decluttering my vanity, I realized that stuff makes me really, really happy. I love being girly. I like doing my makeup and I like dressing up. It just fills me with joy. So I guess it's funny not being allowed to do it because of minimalism made it very clear to me that that's something that makes me really happy. Number 4, know this is not new. I've harped on this rule a bajillion times. I hated the duplicate rule. It was one of the worst decisions that I made. I got rid of so many precious items because they were duplicates. Like a lot of my luxury purses, my knapsacks. I can't even think of of all of the items that I got rid of because it was considered a duplicate. I have a lot of duplicates now, guys. Look, I have 2 rings. I have lots of cups. I think I own 4 cups, or maybe 5. I'm not even sure. It doesn't bother me. I have 2 mugs that are the same mugs because my dad broke one, so he got me another one. And it's just like, I'm okay with the duplicate rule. I own several bras. I have lots of socks, and it's cool. Like, I think that I don't live in an abundance and a surplus, but I have just like the right amount for myself. And obviously I'm gonna have duplicates. I have lots of white basic tees. It's all good. Okay, number 5, striving for less. I actually got this notion from the articles that I was reading when I was trying to like find life after minimalism. A lot of people were talking about the extreme end of minimalism leads into what's known as a concept of minimalism mediocrity, and that was really shocking because I didn't know that some of the elements of minimalism is that you kind of declutter your drive for life, and that's definitely something that happened to me. I just didn't know that this was a thing. I thought it was just more like, well, since I can't have anything and I can't do anything, like, well, what's the point of life? But realizing that I don't have to strive for less. I can be a minimalist or practice elements of minimalism while still striving. It seems like those 2 things were kind of in opposition, but I guess they don't have to be. Maybe that was just my own personal take on it. It's actually okay to strive for more, to strive for better. It's okay to want more. So that's kind of a new concept to me. I don't know how I'm gonna work that into my minimalism, but it's kind of cool to try that. Verse 6, having to say no to abundance. This whole idea that less is more. It kind of got to a point where I was like, I would like to not have to practice that. I would like to be able to say yes to more. I would like to have abundance. I would like to have like what is known as cluttercore. I think it's almost like it's a reaction to minimalism. You kind of feel like, okay, like there's nothing. And I think that maybe that's what I miss. I think I missed that point, that it's the idea that you remove space to have like an empty cup, which is the Zen principle. Life is having a cup, pouring water, drinking it, and repouring the cup. Like, that's what minimalism is. You strip off what doesn't work, so you have more space now, and so you can put in and try new things. And then again, when you're kind of like, okay, this is not working, let that go. This is not working, let that go. That's how I'm gonna be using my minimalism. I'm right now in the stage of adding. I'm not simplifying, I'm adding stuff. I'm gonna be trying and doing a lot of things, and I'll be documenting it. But currently, I feel like I finally have the space to say, no, I don't want to keep simplifying. Yes, I want to have more in abundance. All right, so those are the 5 things that suited me in minimalism and 6 things that did not. Comment down below if any of these, resonated with you. I would love to see it. I'd love to read it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.